fulfilling and wonderful life together with that choice. If their thing is that they just want to have a bond between the two of them to just like take it to the next level, let everybody know like we are married.
Not to mention, if you're going to talk about procreation, if you think that's a fundamental part of marriage, then I mean, the statistics are here, Matt. We know that gay people obviously are far more likely to adopt. Even more so, LGBT couples are more likely not only just to adopt, but to adopt disabled children specifically, who obviously have a much harder time getting adopted because they're disabled. Like, if you want to talk about procreation and raising kids, gay people have entered into a union in which they do not have the physical ability to bear children. However, they can still raise a child. They can still take care of children.
Yeah, hello. Happy birthday, dude.
Thank you. And you're Giga Chad?
Yeah, I'm Giga Chad.
Okay. So what's up? What do you want to talk about? I saw that you were saying something about how adoption is not procreation, which is
Yeah, no, I just
obvious.
hopped on the stream and I heard you say like, since you want to talk about procreation, gay couples are more likely to adopt, and I was like, that's not procreation.
Didn't I say that it's not procreation? However, if you want to talk about like raising a family, gay people can adopt. Pretty sure that's
I
what
think
I
you said this after.
So do you disagree then with what? So what do you more broadly disagree with? Do you disagree with the concept of gay people adopting?
You're gonna lead me into a whole different topic, and I don't know if I got the time to debate you like all night.
No, we don't need to debate all night. We can just talk for like 30 minutes, see where it goes. But I don't know what your positions are on anything. All I saw was you just saying adoption isn't procreation. Are you dumb? And I said, yeah, of course it's not procreation.
Yeah.
And then yeah. So
yeah, I don't really have a reason to debate you, but your mods were tagging me all the time, like saying, "Come debate him, you cuck! Come debate him," and I was like, "Whatever, I'm just gonna jump in."
Okay, well, do you have a problem with gay people adopting, generally speaking?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, do you generally believe or agree with like Matt Walsh about traditional marriage and whatever?
No, I hate them. I hate him.
Okay, so you aren't a fan of Matt Walsh. That's a good start. But you
No, not at all.
You're not in favor of gay people adopting.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk. Why don't we just talk about that? So what's up with that? Why?
There's multiple reasons. One of them is kids that are adopted by gay couples they end up being more likely to become gay as well, and trans and shit like that.
All right, let me go ahead and type
And
this
then,
in.
Excuse me?
I'm gonna go ahead. Adopted kids by gay people.
Oh, you're Googling shit.
No, I'm not. I'm taking notes down. Okay.
Oh,
so
all right.
Adopted kids by gay people end up being gay themselves. Sometimes I
more
know
likely to. More likely to.
Okay.
Do you disagree with that?
Well, I want to get all your points down first, and then we'll kind of go through it. So why else do you have a problem? Or is this the main thing?
I just don't think that's a lack of a mother figure in a family, or a father figure. If it's a lesbian couple, is gonna do anything good for the kid. I don't know. I think that's gonna raise them in a very different way from everyone else.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, well, so the adopted kids by gay people ending up being gay themselves, I think this only applied to women who were or girls who were adopted. And I would have to I don't want you to make fun of me for Googling, but I would have to double check.
I'm not gonna.
I believe part of the reason there is just because since they were raised by more progressive parents, most likely, they're more open to new experiences. I don't know if it's necessarily that they are actually gay, because you can't be like groomed into having a sexuality. That doesn't work.
Yeah, well, I disagree with that. I think your sexuality is not inborn. It changes.
Wait, no,
it can be changed. Yes.
No, it can't. By that, wait, do you think
Oh,
that
I
if you
disagree
sat
with
somebody
that.
down in a room, you could like convert their sexuality into being attracted to animals?
No, it's not a rational decision. Like you just decide to suck dick one day. It's more on the subconscious level. It can be affected by various factors. Not too educated on this, but I'm fairly confident
Yeah, because there's
sexuality is
sexuality
fluid.
has a pretty big um genetic component there. So just no, like by that logic, why is it then that people who are raised by like super strict, straight religious fanatics who constantly talk about how being gay is bad still will turn out gay?
Well, you know the reputation of religious, of some very religious organizations and shit. Like some people get molested and they end up gay and shit. Like little boys getting molested,
Wait,
they
molestation doesn't
oftentimes end
deter.
up gay
No,
after
no,
this.
no.
Yeah, they do.
Maybe, but that's not like a predictor at all. There are plenty of people that have been sexually abused that don't turn out to be gay. You can look at this just from the raw numbers. There's a much higher rate of people who have been sexually abused as opposed to the rates of people that are LGBT. That doesn't even add up.
Well, it's not that clear cut. Like if you get necessarily only if you get molested, you'll become gay or something. There are subtle little things that can change you, influence you,
There's no
and
evidence
it
that
doesn't.
there's anything there. There are plenty of people who are gay who have never been sexually abused, and there are plenty of people who have been sexually abused
Yeah,
who
well,
don't turn out to be
that's what I
gay.
said. Yeah, that's what I said, dude. It's not a sexual abuse doesn't equal homosexuality, but it's one of the factors. And some people get affected a certain way. Some people get affected in another way. There's other things that could turn you gay and shit like that.
Okay, well, because that's just not correct at all, but let's just first look at this. So, this study was based on only 76 children, and it was started in 1986. They found that 70% of females and 90% of males identified as heterosexual or straight, compared to 88% of females and 98% of males in the demographically matched group. Okay. Furthermore, 54% of women and 33% of men with lesbian parents reported having a same sex sexual experience between the age of 17 and 25, compared to 38% of women and 9% of men. The doctor, the report's lead author, said there are multiple theories to explain sexual orientation, including hormones, genetics, and environment, but so far, she added, the evidence suggests there is no one factor that is a single determinant. When asked for an explanation, as to why they might be less likely to identify as straight, she noted they may be more expansive or they may have a more expansive perspective on sexuality. Perhaps we should be
Yeah, well, I
celebrating.
agree with that entirely. Yeah. Your paper says that
My
some
gay life.
factors are environmental, societal, some are genetic. Yeah, of course.
The
So it's
environmental, I
not
would have to
it's
look
not
at what
all
they mean by
predetermined.
Well, okay. I would have to look at what they mean exactly by environmental because sometimes when people bring up environment, they're actually referring to the environment of the fetus within the womb. So sometimes people say there's an environmental factor, and what they mean by that is there's hormone washing that occurs in the womb. But yeah, I don't think that it's like you are set up to have exactly this sexuality. I do think,
Yeah,
however, that you
so
are genetically predisposed to having certain
yeah, I
sexuality.
agree. I agree. Yeah.
Okay. But having lesbian parents is not going to like activate that or something. They could just possibly have
I
a more
think it
hold on,
does
wait,
a
wait, wait, wait,
lot.
wait.
I
They
think it
could just
does.
have a more expansive perspective on sexuality. So that might be why they're more likely to report certain experiences or identify as more of a sexual minority. It's not like their sexuality's been changed.
It's been influenced. Like, and that's if a lesbian couple adopts a girl, the parents are the example for that girl. That's how she sees love,
So,
the way her parents express it. So if she's gonna want love, she's gonna try to repeat what her parents do.
well, it also
It's
says
a
that, hold
massive
on, wait, it also
influence.
says that over the 15 years, it suggests women experience sexuality more fluidity, or more sexual fluidity than men. Like, think about how many times you'll hear stories of like the girl at the party who makes out with her friend, and it's just like, oh, they were drunk. But like, if a guy ever did that, then he would be gay, right? So women have already been, or research has already suggested that females are a little bit more fluid when it comes to sexuality. So that could also explain the gap. But I mean, last but not least, who even cares? Why does it matter if there are more gay people? So long as they're not becoming gay via
Lower
any,
birth rates.
so long as they're not becoming gay through any abusive means, so long as they're not being pressured to identify this way, then if people are raised by lesbian parents and have a more expansive view on sexuality and they tend to experience different things or have more sexual experiences with the same sex, like who cares? Why is that even a bad thing?
Well, but we get lower birth rates.
So
Is that okay? Do you think that's okay? What do you mean no?
I said
If more
so.
people, oh, so,
Yes,
well, we're
so
dying out, and our countries are gonna fall to other people
I don't think. Okay,
who,
what do you mean other people?
well, foreigners who are living in more traditional societies.
So you're saying that if we don't reproduce more, that the whites are gonna die out and be replaced by the brown people?
Well, that applies to Asian countries as well, like Japan and Korea. They got low birth rates right now. Any country, it's in any country's best interest to do policy that uh, raises their population.
Okay,
It's not a
fine, but I
bite
don't know what
or
you mean by like foreigners or whatever. Like people,
people from other
Americans,
countries. Yeah,
Americans are Americans, whether they're white or brown or any other color.
yeah, sure.
Like it doesn't matter. Our country's not being lost to the foreigners or something. Not to mention, this whole reason this conversation started was because I said that gay people are more likely to adopt. Like, if you want to talk about birth rates, there's a fuck ton of kids who don't have any parents who are sitting in the foster care system who need a family. So what's wrong with them being
Yeah,
raised by gay parents?
that's really bad. Yeah, that's really bad. But it's even worse if we don't have kids and everyone ends up getting old and we're just gonna die off and our country is gonna be replaced by another.
What do you mean our
I don't see
country
how
is going to
that's
be
any better.
replaced by another? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, look, if you move all the people from France to fucking India and then all the Indians to France, what do you think it's gonna stay France? No, that's gonna be New India.
Wait,
It's gonna be a whole different
if
country.
our entire country was filled with only black people, it would still be America. Not to mention when people immigrate to other
It depends
countries
what
and
kind of black
and
people.
societies, they adapt. They adapt to broader society far more than broader society bends to their will. So I genuinely don't know why this would even be a problem when you say like we're dying out. Every Western country tends to see lower birth rates, and that's because of, well, there's partially something to be said about capitalism, at least here in America, but even more so, Western countries are more healthy, which means that if you have just one or two children, they are far more likely to live into adulthood, which is just then follows that you are going to have less kids. Where in some of these third world nations, where it's far poorer, children are dying at much higher rates. So people are also having kids at higher rates.
Yeah, I know it's a biological population regulation mechanism. I know that shit, but like these people, the ones that live in more traditional societies, are going to inherit the world, and we're just our lines are going to end if we keep it this way.
What do you mean inherit the
I don't
world?
see how
I don't
that's
understand what this
acceptable to
means.
you.
I don't know what you mean like inherit the world.
Their ancestors will live on, and ancestors of people from here are just going to end.
That's not
Their line
that's
is going to
not
end.
true. There are people that
Yeah,
are
it is.
immigrating here
What
to
do you
this
mean?
country. There are people here who were born into this country. And it sounds like what you're getting at is that you think the whites are going to die out or something.
Well, it's certainly headed that way, yeah.
Okay, and let's say that's true, that white people just naturally kind of become a minority and fizzle out and America is replaced by like
Yeah.
mostly brown people. Who cares? Why does that even matter? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, so
I
why
just
does it
don't get
matter
how
if
you
white
don't
people
have these instincts of like caring about your people.
That's what I mean.
You're
Is no. White people are not my people. I'm an
what are
American,
you?
and so are
Which
other
percent
Americans.
Americans? So your identity is built on like a paper that's given to you by the government. That's who you are.
No. But I think that there are
American.
fundamental American values that ideally we would all share. And I think for the most part, most Americans do share the idea of personal liberty, freedom, autonomy, living your life the way you want to live, the pursuit of
Yeah, but
happiness.
that's not exclusively American. Everyone loves fucking liberty.
Okay, cool. So then
Like,
why does it matter if we
that's
have a
not
bunch of black people here who also love liberty?
that's okay. That's whatever. But we already do have them in America,
Yeah, but I'm trying to understand
and they're
why
Americans
this
too. Yeah,
matters when you
whatever.
say like, how do you not care about quote your people? Other whites are not my people. I've brought up this example
I'm not
repeatedly that
talking
I
about
have more
other
in common
whites.
with a
I'm not.
black person who lives next door to me than I would with
Sure. Yeah.
another
Yeah.
white guy who's rich as fuck living in California.
Yeah. I just don't think that's the case. You're raised the same way. What do you have in common with like if you're a poor white guy from like New York? What do you have in common with a fucking poor Mexican immigrant in San Diego? Like, what do you have in common?
What do I have in common with a
Yeah,
rich white
you got
guy?
way more.
What
You
do I have
got
in
way
common
more
with
in
a
common
rich
with
white
a rich
guy?
white guy.
You realize that if I were in a poor neighborhood and then my neighbor was in a poor neighborhood and we both shared a neighborhood and I was white and the neighbor was Mexican, that we would have a lot in common. Yeah.
What similarities are more important to you, like eating the same shit food and living in a bad area, or like the music, your culture, your heritage? I associate more with that. I don't know
So are
how
you saying
you
there's an
how you
American
can
culture? Or are you saying
associate
there's a
more
white
with your
culture?
lifestyle.
Is there American
What?
culture or white culture?
It's your specific ethnic culture for me.
So do you think that culture is dictated by skin color or genes or any form of like biology, or do you think that this is just a cultural thing?
Well, I didn't fall out of the fucking sky. I got parents, they got parents, and yeah, whatever their culture was is mine. And
And
like it
you
or not,
realize that
that's
most
tied to
of
genetics.
American culture slash even what you would probably consider white culture stems from people of color. So like I think that a really popular American
Yeah,
view of
like the philosophy which comes from the Greeks, like democracy, which is Greek, right? That's Greeks are people of color, I guess.
it's just even
Your
like
whole
the
identity, which was invented by the Greeks.
even America itself was founded because Europeans didn't like the way that other Europeans were running that area, so they left. America literally began
They were
bec-
still Europeans.
hold on.
They
America
weren't people
began
of color.
because there were white people and other white people who didn't share the same values. So that's why they split apart. There is no shared value or shared culture across white people. And even more so, if you want to talk about something like, say, European culture, maybe you would have something there, but there can be black people who were born in Europe and they are also partaking in European culture. Like, there's such a thing, obviously, as culture, and there's also strong correlation between some cultural views and ethnicity. However, that's correlation. It's not because they are brown that they have this culture. It's that this culture exists and they just so happen to be brown people partaking in it. You're not sounding very Giga Chad right now.
Yeah, I'm a bit busy. I'm a bit busy.
Okay. I just think that you really need to rethink this because you're not even able to tell me what's wrong with white people becoming a minority. And if your entire fucking thing is that if gay people raise kids, then there might be more gay people based on a study of 76 gay people, uh, that's sorry, that's just, it's delusional. You're like a giga idiot, not giga Chad.
Sure, bro.
Okay, well, I guess this is further proof that us white people do not have shared values because you're subhuman and I'm not. So, peace.
The gay mice.
Yeah, all right.
I want to say the R slur. What a fucking moron. Holy shit.